Alright, haven't done a video in a while, so might as well get started here. Over here we got our latest addition, which is our veggie pod. It is a SIP irrigation bed. Basically, what you do is on the hook up here on the side, hook up, you got misters on the top. Misters come down, saturate the soil, and inside there at the bottom is a catch basement. And what that does is it stores the water in there. And so far, we've just been testing it out with lettuce, and it's doing fairly well. What's nice about this setup is you don't have to water it anywhere near as often as anything else. So basically, the catchment stores the water. The plants get the roots down into the water, suck the water dry. You water it, from what I'm hearing, once every month or so, maybe every 2 months, depending on the, environment. But still in the testing phase. Some of the things that we did to modify it down at the bottom is where the drain hole is. So, for example, if it starts raining too hard, instead of flushing out all the soil, it'll actually drain out the bottom just above the water line, and that way you're not, flushing out all your soil. So far, it's working out pretty well. We're gonna probably do some garlic and that type of thing. I'm not sure how well it'll do with peppers, but something we're playing with. It's been kind of fun. And obviously this time of year with the heat coming on, we've got everything pretty much covered up. Got lots of shade going on, got bird netting going on. Over here, what we got here is the mutant tomato. Not sure how well this is going to come out, but you can kind of get an idea on how big this thing is. That's a good, I'd say it's easily 6 foot. And we're getting tons and tons of tomatoes. This is the original mutant. It seems like it's run back to its parent. It's not as robust as the original. It's not as sturdy or strong, so obviously we braced it up to compensate for that type of thing. Bird netting's just to obviously keep the birds out. There's some more tomatoes in there. I'm not sure if you can see that. Nothing ripe yet. And then obviously another set of varieties over here. Not doing anywhere near as well. Once again, just to give you perspective, these beds are 7 foot tall. That thing is easily 6 foot. And they're doing pretty well, I think. Look at the size of those tomatoes. If we didn't brace this thing up, we'd be losing branches, something fierce. So this is working out extremely well. Now, we did lose quite a bit during the winter. The pipe heaters that we had in place, basically we did some testing, and 5 of the 9 that we tested pretty much gave up after that point. But each one of them failed, meaning they didn't produce any heat. So we lost quite a bit. Obviously this tomato plant in particular is one of the survivors. The larger of what's left over is pretty much what has lasted, or at least made it through the winter. So we're going to have to move on to plan B. Obviously the pipe heaters are a complete failure. Not happy about that, but it is what it is. Got more pepper plants going on here. And then we got the pride and joy of the jungle right here, which is the Black Plague. It survived the winter and is doing actually pretty well. The pepper on that thing is extremely hot. Extremely hot. I'd say probably possibly hotter than a reaper. But we're gonna have to wait until it produces more, just to make sure. I don't want to oversell something, but I'm pretty proud of this one in particular. It's one of the mutants, one of the joys of open pollination. Then of course over here is my buddy Seamus's hatch chilies. They are doing extremely well. We had lost quite a few during the winter, and then we planted these in place knowing that we were going to lose something, but I'm actually amazed. They're doing really well. They've already got blossoms going, so we're going to be getting some peppers here pretty soon. And so the standing order of 50 pounds by Seamus, I'm pretty sure we're going to hit that this year. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. Obviously some more tomatoes, the same mutant, just at a different angle, and then with the bird netting. If we didn't have that bird netting, them birds would be in there chewing that up. They don't actually eat it. They don't even get into the seeds. They just break the skin and make it look terrible. And here's our black tomato. It's nowhere near as monstrous as the mutant, but got a few varieties in here as well. It's not just them. Got a tomato right there. Not sure if you can see that, but there it is. And then of course the younglings are obviously, you know, new plants, since we did lose quite a few, but sometimes it's good to start right over and get things the way you want it to go. These are our habs. They're doing pretty well. We've got some of them with some blossoms on them. And then of course Old Faithful here, our Reaper. He survived just fine. He's looking a little ratty, but you know what? He'll make it back just fine. We got some more Reapers down there. We got some ghost peppers going on over here. Try to keep things labeled so that way it's easy to know what's in each bed, but you know, we do occasionally put others inside. And then the lone survivor here, obviously the largest of the lot. I think that's a brain strain. And then we've got some scorpions going on in here. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell as far as that goes. Things are going relatively well, and wanted to get a video in before the start of the summer, and we'll do another one at the end of it when everything's starting to get covered up, and we'll go with plan B on doing some type of heater. I'm thinking what had happened is during the winter with the wind blowing and that type of thing, the bed covers, I mean, they are insulated and they are waterproof, but the problem is down here there's nothing for it to rest upon, so it just blows right in. All that cold air goes right in there and pretty much chills everything to the bone. When people say to cover your plants, covering your plants is not enough in the winter, especially during a freeze, and especially when you get 5 days of consecutive freezing. But this is one of the things that I've been kind of toying with. It's a CO2 natural, basically creates CO2 for the garden beds. It's supposed to be for just a 4x4. It's open, so I'm kind of hoping that it'll help out with the black plague and with the hatch chilies and that type of thing. It's still open to debate on whether it works or not, but you know what? I had it in that bed with the mutant, and it's doing extremely well. So if I had to guess, I'd say yeah, it works. So far so good. But anyways, that's kind of where we're at.